Welcome back to the channel. So I'll give you a little bit of an update of what I'm doing at the minute. I have over there, which I will be showing you in a moment, is the engine that I showed you in the last update. Now I would like to give a good a nice shout out to Chad Raynal, the guy that I bought this from, and very patient bloke, and really smooth transaction. And also Meta Cargo for picking up the engine for me and delivering it seamlessly to the workshop. Now I'm currently in the process of actually breaking down the engine, and it's kind of a bit of a mess in here, and finding out what's been done to the engine and things like that. I'll show you in a minute, but that was why I wanted to give a shout out to the guys that helped me out on that one. It's quite interesting, this engine, actually, because it's obviously the American version of the Cologne, so it's slightly different. The block is very similar. In actual fact, I think it's almost the same. I keep forgetting that a lot of this, because it's probably late 70s, early 80s, this engine, it has Imperial bolts on it, so some things that don't fit, okay, there's bits of it that are metric, some of it's Imperial. But I'm getting there. Okay, let me go and show you what I've got. Okay, so as you can see, it's a little bit of a mess around here, and the first thing I wanted to do is check it out. And as you can see, that it's in reasonable condition. I mean, it looks like it's possibly been rebuilt at some point in its life, because everything's very clean and tidy in there. I'm yet to take off the heads, so that's going to be something that I'm going to be doing. There's a K-jet system on it. I'm not exactly sure where that's come from or what vehicle, so that's very interesting as well. And as you can see, this is the American style one, so opposed to having just 2 ports, but the 2.8 normally has 3 ports. And those ones here are Imperial, and I don't have an Imperial socket for that, so I had to kind of find one that almost fits. The first problem I discovered was the front pulleys here, the timing gear. This one here was okay, so whoever put this on knew that they were going to be doing a fair amount of power going in it. The thrust plate that sits here, this bit goes on there, and this was loose. Now when I tightened it up, it wouldn't. It would lock up. So then, to be honest, I couldn't remember exactly if there was like a washer there. And funnily enough, I actually have another Cologne engine in my garage, and lo and behold, there is a seal. Oh, there is. So that bit there actually goes over that. So that was the reason why that was doing that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking the heads off, because there's a lot of sludge in the water galleries, some black sludge, who knows what the hell it is, but look there, goo. And some strange ways they've done these on this. You know, the exhaust came round over here like that, which is quite interesting. And that's the turbo manifold. Look at them, it's lovely exhaust, really well made. And that's the turbo that was on it, that one there. An Air Research TO4 it is. Little bit tight, but you know, it's got some kind of decal on one of the fins. It doesn't look like it's been used very much. It's a little bit tight, but that could be because of lack of use. I mean, I don't know how long this has not been used for, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to check all the mains, all the big ends, make sure everything's okay. I did a couple of part number searches. According to this one here, that says it's a little bit conflicting. When I googled that part number, it did say that it was either a high flow pump, other ones are saying it's not. Who knows? And as you can see, bit of a mess. So I've bought myself my Dymo labeler with me, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to label up all of the hoses which go into there, so I can if need be, if someone wants to have it, because I'm not going to use the KHS system on there. I'm actually going to take that off. There's a lot of bits I'm not going to use. So, right, let's crack on. So first of all, what I wanted to do was attempt to see if there's not been any permanent damage done to the race of that camshaft. So I've taken out the woodruff key, I've put that bearing, that piece of metal in there, and then I'm going to attempt to see if it makes any difference. See, hopefully it's okay. I'm sure it will be, but we'll certainly see. Right, let's test this out. Well, that's a good sign. So what I've done now is I've lined up the marks on there, and I stuck a screwdriver in there to see in there somewhere, if you can't actually see it, it's the spark plug hole. So then what I can do is mark where the timing pin is on there. It's just best practice to kind of mark where you are when you're taking things to pieces. So what I'm going to be doing next is marking all the injectors of where they go, so then if necessary I can put them back on. Oh, so that one's broken, so oh dear. Okay, right, well, better crack on. Okay, well, don't worry, it's only me. I'm just putting in an audio file into the center of this. I'm not going to go and edit in 5 or 6 6 clips that I created when I was dymo labeling this stuff in. I thought it might have been an idea for me to just record everything that I was doing and then kind of just cut out what I wanted. I'm not going to bore you with the details because there's probably about 45 minutes of me just labeling things. Nobody wants to see that. So what I've decided to do is I'm just going to cut to the segment where I start taking the cylinder heads off. Well, I'll attempt to anyway, and then we'll see what's going on inside. Okay, enjoy. So now they're all labelled up. I don't know if you can see that. Well, there. I couldn't remember the orientation of how it went. If it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or if it was 4, 5, 6. And I just checked it was 4, 5, 6 that way. So now I've labelled them all up. All that can all come off now, and then I can speed through this. Almost look brand new. Top tip with these ones, what I like to do is get a piece of cardboard and draw an engine and then put them in the right place so I know which ones they go in. So I'm going to do that now. So you make a simple piece like that and then you know which ones they go in. So I've got the arrow pointing that way for the front, and then all you've got to do is put them in like such. I'll be doing the same thing on the other side once I get out. Can't see any more on that side. Look at this side. Can't see any on that side either. So in all, the top half isn't too bad. I was expecting to see some kind of damage in there, but it's actually not that bad. So I'm going to flip it over and check all the mains. Before I do that, change that over, I'm going to tidy up a little bit because it's a bit of a mess in here. I'll show you the mess I have made already. All from one engine. Tools everywhere. Focus. Yeah. So after tidying up a little bit and making everything right, I've decided to now start filming me checking the main bearings. So the last bit you saw a moment ago was me taking the heads off and one of them being stuck, but one of the head gaskets are actually stuck to the headlight head. So take that over to the machine shop and get them to hopefully put it through their machine, through their wash machine, and it will take it off. So this is the oil pump drive. That's that. There's a key on it. It's much the same as the other pump, one on the other 2.8 I've got. If I can help it, I won't change it, but it's all covered in sludge. Right, let's have a look at these mains, shall we? It begins.
Yes, so I noticed I made a mistake in the previous build. Made a bearing cap, which is the same thing which is about Granada, which we believe was manufactured around 85-26. The interesting point is the engine is actually free in 70s. Very interesting how the development was done in the US and Europe. Hopefully that makes sense. These are the rest of the video.
Just checking there to see what kind of bolts they were. This was like a later engine, because I've noticed on the European V6 that I've got the middle 4 bolts here are actually longer, but on the later engine, roughly 80, I reckon 80s, 85.
Yes, so I noticed I made a mistake in the previous clip. What I was trying to explain, and failing miserably, is all the main bearing cap bolts are uniform, which is the same as the engine sitting in my garage, which is in fact from a 2.8 EFI Granada, which I do believe was manufactured around 85 to 86. It's an interesting find, as this engine is actually from a Mercury Capri from the mid-70s. Very interesting how the development was done compared to the US and Europe. Hopefully that made sense, and please enjoy the rest of the video. Cheers.
Look at those shells. Oh, bit of chewing on that one there, I think. Yeah, bit of pick up on that one there. Yep. Hopefully the crank's okay. No pickup on that one. That's a pretty good one. Can't see. Yeah, see, it's pretty good. Just a bit dirty. These are all labelled as well, so you've got 2. You can see that there. Probably see that, so 2. So you can't mess them up. after inspecting all the pistons, I found what's happened. As you can see that there, it's moved and it's pushed up on one side. So that ring on that, but the oil control ring or scraper ring, whatever you want to call it, is bent. So they must have bent it when they got this in. That's why there was obviously some scoring on the bore. Hopefully, just with a hone, that will come out. We will see. So that's all apart now. You can see the groove quite a lot now. If you can zoom in on that, yeah. So as I say, hopefully I can get that honed out. It'll be all right. On a plus note, this here looks like a some kind of sports cam. Can't quite make that out on there. That's definitely not a standard cam. I'm not sure how severe that is. So, but taking the crank off, and it looks like in pretty good condition. And I did know there's a few problems I have noticed. One of them I showed you with the one of the shells was slightly nicked, and one of the pistons as well is tight on the top on the little end, and that's going to be a bit of a pain. Right, okay, now I have to tidy up. As you can see, I have made a complete mess. So, and I will tell you what my plan is with this engine. Right, okay, so you just saw me dismantle that V6 engine that I got from America. And I did find a few things wrong with it, which you've seen. Nothing too bad, I don't think, but I'll be taking it to the machine shop anyway, and hopefully they can give me a good bill of health. Maybe a bit of a hone might be able to go and sort out that scratch, and I'll be able to at least use some of the bits on there. What my plan is to try and keep the engine as original as possible. I'm going to do away with the MFI kit and try to adapt a EFI kit to it, and then see how that's going to run. But I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible so I can get the engine to go. Now, why am I all doing this? Well, I had a bit of a crazy idea that I wanted to put this into a Sierra and then drive that said Sierra across America in it. So then I would deliver it, or sorry, send it to America, take flights, go to America and drive across America in the car that I've built. And first of all, what I'm actually going to do, instead of going to America first, I am going to go and do quite a famous route around Scotland. My other half sent me a link to where you can do 500-mile journey, and I thought that would be a good way of testing the car to make sure that something hasn't broken or I've done something wrong, and that would be a good way to break it in as well and then try it out. I have been in talks with a chap called Steve, who is actually selling an XR, a Sierra, and we've agreed a deal and we're going to go ahead with the sale. Hopefully by the end of this month I'll get that car. This particular journey that I want to do probably isn't going to happen just yet, because there's a lot of things I need to deal with. For instance, I've still got the Janspeed Granada to deal with, I've got the Mondeo to deal with, and I've got a bit of a headache with my other Granada, because there would appear there's something has happened between me and the workshop that has it. So I'm trying to deal through that the most diplomatic way I possibly can. Now, yeah, so that is my plan with it, and it won't be shelved, but that's why I've got this engine. I want to make sure it's okay. I'm not going to do anything crazy with this engine. I'm going to try, as I said a moment ago, try and keep it as original as possible, update what I can. So I'm going to try and keep the con rods the same if that number 4 conrod or 5 conrod is actually savable because it was extremely tight in that piston. I did do some googling on the part numbers of that piston and conrod. It would appear that it came out of some kind of inline 6-cylinder engine, some Ford engine. But according to what I've read up, that's what it is. As long as I get the right size, I shouldn't have too much of an issue. What was the other thing? The conrods, hopefully they're the same size as the typical European ones, because I'll have quite a few standard ones. I'm going to put some ARP bolts on it as well, some ARP little end caps, and then put it all back together with proper bolts and refreshing all the bearings and the little ends and the big ends. I had a little bit of pickup on number 1, but one behind big end. So sorry, main. So hopefully that crank is okay. But when I looked at it, it didn't look too bad. So maybe that may just need a polish and not a grind. Right. Well, that is the plan. And if you want to continue to watch, please like, share, and subscribe. Oh, one more thing. I'm actually selling a Volvo as well to try and fund this this adventure. So if you wanted to check it out, just hit me up and I'll show you it. It's going to go cheap because I need to get rid of it. So anyway, again, like, share, and subscribe. Cheers.